We were young and impetuous, and we didn't want to think in the box. We tried to think outside the box, and that's how we got here.
You know, it took a lot of people and a lot of energy and a lot of resources, but I guess it goes along with where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want every child to participate in every activity, you just figure out the way. I mean, you've just got to think outside the box, and sometimes it takes a lot of people thinking outside the box to finally get it going right. And maybe some trials, some practices, and maybe a failure or two, and you just tweak it a different way.
One of the things that I've always tried to espouse, which is something that Bob DeLemus tried to inculcate in me, was you never know what's possible until you try.
The impact camp has had on me personally it's exponential, it's infinite. I have been around camp since I was 5 years old, and my dad was one of the founders. And he really instilled in us this idea of being a service-oriented family. And so my earliest memories are of my dad cooking in the kitchen. You know, even though he was a physician, that was what he felt like he could contribute to camp the most, was him being the camp cook.
When I got to camp, I felt that I was important. You know, with my disability, I felt that people were like treating me different. You know, oh, he only has one hand, we got to help him out with things. But when I came out here, it's like they really didn't care if I had one hand, you know? They wanted you to still work, and they still wanted you to get involved, and they wanted you to help all the campers and everyone have a good time. They didn't even think of me as having one hand.
The impact camp has had on me personally, it's made me a better person, but I think more importantly, it's made me a better mom to my camper, Trent. The very first week I was out, I was very busy and I did not spend hardly any time with Trent. But there was one day that I could see him and he couldn't see me. I was far away, and he was being treated like any other kid. The counselors and the campers were treating him like their friend. And I had never witnessed that before. And it was that moment I knew we'd be coming back.
There was one little boy who never got to leave the infirmary because he had so many disabilities, but his counselor in his memory book wrote things like, well, Mom, today I didn't really get to go to the river because it was too hot. So my counselors brought the river to me. Dr. Chris went to a family conference, and the families were sharing programs that were out there for kids with disabilities. She didn't know it. This young man's mom stood up with the memory book and said, it's the first time my son ever spoke to me.
When we bought the place, the infirmary was the manager's house with one bathroom and 2 little bedrooms, and we changed the kitchen into the treatment room. And so as years went by, we added to every single side of the building and made it grow. And so we had to adapt to the building. So what makes me really excited about the medical center is that you could just create this space that you wanted.
When I think about the old cabins at camp, I'm very nostalgic. For those of us that were there that first summer that we moved into Center Point, it was a labor of love. You know, we started with these cinder block buildings that didn't have much character, and how did we even survive, you know, with the campers in there with the needs that they met? Because these cabins that we have now they're incredible, and they are designed to meet every need of every camper that walks through our doors. So the transition from, you know, where we were when we bought the property on Center Point to where we are now is exactly where we're supposed to be, because we wouldn't be where we are now if we hadn't started with the cabins that we had to begin with.
I think the new buildings that we're building at camp will help the staff function better, The workspace alone in the new infirmary with the nice large med room, we give close to 30,000 doses of meds a year, and so it's going to be nice to have a roomy place to have that done. I'm really excited about the new isolation rooms with the porches. That just makes a lot of sense. Even if they can't be with their friends for about 12 hours, they can get some fresh air. The teaching facilities, indoor and outdoor, is going to be really nice for our healthcare professionals that come volunteer. Well, we got to use our new camper cabin last week for the first time for a medical week, and it was so spacious and roomy, and there was plenty of electrical outlets, and everything went very smoothly. It was just nice to see the faces of the campers when they walked in and saw the new cabin that they were going to get to use.
I'm most excited about seeing the new camps, the med staff building down from the new infirmary. I'm most excited about that.
The only way we can offer camp to some of our medically fragile campers is to have plenty of professional healthcare people come, physicians, nurses, pharmacists, respiratory therapists. We need them to offer camp safely to the campers. My vision for camp for the next 5 or 10 years would be to offer more spots for more campers.
I just hope that they can see what I saw on camp and come out and support, and even come out for a day or a week and just enjoy the time with the children, because they need that time.
My hope for camp is that we never stop believing in the big, and that we always know that wherever we end up, we have made a bold statement with the community that we serve. Camp is infinite possibilities.
You just have to come and see it. You just have to be a part of it.
My hopes and dreams for camp is that it lasts forever. And I think it's all of our responsibility to do our part to make sure that happens.